Hello, I'm Paul and welcome back to the channel, and today what I thought we'd do is check out a really lovely technique you can use if you use Sibelius for your compositions but you want to import the score into MuseScore to take advantage of these epic sound libraries. There's something I really want to show you, specifically to do with Midi export, not music XML. And then we're going to tweak the score so you get the best playback experience you can straight off the bat. Now today we're going to be using this beautiful piece of music by Massenet, Meditation. Oh, I absolutely love it. And everything you are about to hear is absolutely free. Right, I'll just stop it there because I'm conscious if I don't, this video is going to be 2 months long. Right, that's the playback straight out of MuseScore with their free Muse Sounds sample libraries. I've got to say, it's getting better all the time. Let's head over to Sibelius and start our MIDI export from there. Right, let's check this out. Today I'm going to be exporting the music from this Sibelius score as MIDI and importing that MIDI into MuseScore. Now you might be wondering, why on earth would you want to do that? Surely you can do this in Sibelius too. Well, yeah, you can. And I have to say, I've been doing it like that for ages. I've been using Sibelius for everything for ages. But just lately, my word, MuseScore 4 is just on a different level, and I'm going to show you why in a moment. But before we export the MIDI from this score of Massenet's Meditation, I'm going to tempo map it because that'll just add the extra secret sauce onto this MIDI playback that we're going to be looking at later. Now, I could have used Dorico. That functionality has been around for ages now, but in Sibelius, Avid have steadfastly refused to do anything with playback forever. So a chap called Santiago Barks took it upon himself to make this magnificent plugin. We're looking at the Graphical MIDI Tools plugin. We're looking at its tempo track here, and I'm just going to draw tempo curves in. Boom, there we go. That's drawn in. It's written as MIDI data on the very top and the bottom of these staves here. And as I play it back, it's going to sound terrible. I haven't spent any time doing that at all. I've just drawn a tempo curve in, and let's hear this play. You can see the tempo is moving here. It's as simple as this to modulate the tempo. Now, if you don't like that, I'm just going to redo it. Okay, so let's do something different. Like that maybe. Okay. Let's see how this sounds. Completely changed. It's overwritten what I did earlier. It's as easy to use now as Logic, Cubase, Dorico, anything. If you love Sibelius as much as I do, I urge you to head over to his website and check it out. Links are in the description, because not only can you automate tempo, you can automate anything that the sample players you choose to use within Sibelius can automate. For example, if you use any of the VSL product, you can automate mic positions in the Synchron series, all the humanization, all the everything, expression, just everything. It's absolutely magnificent, and it's as easy to use as that. So I'm going to spend a moment making up a tempo curve, and I'll see you back over in MuseScore in a moment. Okay, what we're looking at is the basic MIDI imported file into MuseScore, and it looks like this. When you open it up, it might look something similar on your setup. And I have to say, 99 times out of 100, I'll open a MIDI file up in a different software and it looks terrible. You're going to have to spend a while making it look rather nice. But I wanted to export the MIDI and not an XML for one basic reason. With a MIDI export from Sibelius, it doesn't export any dynamics information at all. There's no hairpins here, there's no dynamics being put in the score. All it does is export the tempo that I've been putting into Sibelius with the graphical MIDI tools plugin, and the notes of each instrument. Now the instruments won't be right. For example, it's attached a horn and a violin to a solo violin stave. So all I'm going to do now is spend a moment tweaking the score so it looks nice. Now I did think about, should I do this in this video as well? But to save time, if you want to know how you can make a MIDI file look lovely, because I have to say the engraving in MuseScore is really good. I was skeptical, I was, but it's really, really good. If you want me to show you a video on that, let us drop a comment in the comments below and I'll get that sorted for you. But for now, I'm just going to spend a moment tidying this score up, and then we're going to have a look at the setup and the individual bars. All right, so let's check this out. Okay, I've spent some time tweaking this score now and things are looking nice, although I've kept all these tempo markings open so you can see as this plays back the tempo changing. If you keep an eye on this part of the screen, you'll see the tempo change as it plays back. Now I'm going to zoom into the violin 1 stave here, and as it plays back this time, you'll see I've marked up with text in specific bars the stuff I've done. Okay, and I'll go through that on those specific bars, why I've done that at the end of the playback. So this is a second playthrough and you can follow along with what I've done. Right, I'll just turn it off there because I've done absolutely nothing apart from tweak the tempo going any further than this. And to be fair, I haven't really touched the harp or the strings at all. I've put some hidden dynamics in the last bar and that's it really. I was just concentrating on the solo violin. Now, if I zoom out a bit here, let me just take you back to the beginning, because there's a couple of reasons why I've turned stuff off but kept them on display in the score. And the first one is this slur here. If I just zoom in so you can see it a little better. I've turned the playback of that off, but kept it hidden, because I find, especially with the classic phrasing, if you turn the slurs off, it kind of sounds a little bit odd. I've kept it here. If I just play this bar back, I turned it off because really, for the purposes of this mock-up, I don't think it really affects the playback either way if that's not on. But to turn it off, if I just open up the properties tab, all you need to do here is just tick the box on. Now, if I play it back now, that will affect the slur. You see if you can hear the difference. Right, so that's with it on. If I turn it back off again. Okay, so I think you can really hear the difference there. So it's just something to bear in mind. Now, there are plenty of times where you might actually want to keep that visible, that slur visible, and turn the playback of it off. And a perfect example of that is phrase marks. If you were putting phrase marks in your score, you might use a slur marking, but if you turn the playback of it off, it doesn't affect the playback whatsoever. So that's a kind of little handy tip. In the original score, this dynamic was hidden, and to keep things hidden or hide them in the properties panel, select anything you like and just click its visibility. Okay, so that's easy to turn on and off. And another example of where I've marked up an articulation but turned it off is this expression on the dynamic here, this accent. Let me just play this bar back to you, and I'm going to keep it turned off. And again, we're using hidden dynamics in the original score here too. What I've done, I've wanted just a slight inflection on that first note. If I turn the playback of that accent on, you hear it now. It's really actually what I should do is delete that dynamic that I put in. Let's just play that back now. It's a fair fight now, isn't it? It's still too pronounced for how I wanted this to play back. So I added that dynamic marking, but turned it off in the score. So let's just do that again so it's all matched in. I'll turn that off with the visibility. I'm going to put a little hairpin in here now, and I'm also going to hide that. And I'm going to turn off the playback of that specific articulation, and it will sound like this. Just a tiny, tiny little bit of oomph as it goes over that section there. Right, with the portamento here, when I've added that line in, the glissando line, you can change the text with the text box here. How cool is that? So I'm just going to put any text in, it just changes it. They've thought of almost everything in this little in this bit of software. It's just absolutely fantastic. So you can edit the text on portamentos or glissandi or whatever you'd like to use there. So I've done that on that bar, and I'm changing between the classic phrasing and the standard playback, because in classic phrasing it won't play back portamento. You need to turn it onto standard playback, and to do that, if I just open the choosing boxes here, you've got the standard playback of the classic phrasing. So if I want to do any portamento slides, you add the staff text, change it to standard, and then when you want to turn that back off, you just select the next note, add the text, classic phrasing, and it sounds lovely. Now you can hear as it goes through that slide transition, it sounds slightly odd. It does a little bit, but it's a free sample library, and I'm sure as things go on, the tweaking that you'll be able to do will take that issue away completely. They update regularly, and honestly, I almost feel bad pointing out errors in it, but wow, I mean, I suppose to be fair, I should, but it's free. You've got to bear that in mind, really. Another thing I really like with MuseScore is the diminuendo and the crescendo markings work, where regardless of their text or hairpins. I think that's kind of cool. I've kept the glissandi text on that, but it is a portamento, so we'll listen to that one. And it switches back to the classic phrasing there. Okay, so apart from that, I haven't really done much, with a bit of tweaking to the tempo. It's the tempo track that you import in your MIDI file that's so important. It just gives it that little bit of movement. At the moment, it's just so much easier to do it when you export your MIDI, regardless if you're using Sibelius with the graphical MIDI tools plugin, or Dorico, or a favourite DAW of yours. Do a tempo map and export it in the MIDI, and it just takes it that little step further. Okay, so that's a basic quick overview of the tweaking that I've done to this score, and in the big scheme of things, there's hardly any tweaking in it at all. Straight off the bat, it sounds like that with free sample libraries. I'd love to know what you guys think, so please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again soon for the next one, where we'll be looking at something slightly different.